Honestly, I don't feel anything when I play against TSM, mainly because everyone's different now. I guess Spica's still on the team, but it feels very different when I just see like 4 new faces. So I think it's just going to be taken as any other match. I just want to beat TSM because it also proves that we're a good team, and a 2-0 weekend would feel great.
I mean, I'll say this, Biofrost. I feel like Dignitas has already proven that they're a good team with the lock-in performance they had, the performance yesterday. We were also lucky enough to get him in the interview yesterday as well to kind of talk about prospects for the team for the rest of the year and how much it means to him to make it to playoffs. Yes, winning the split is a goal, and then ultimately Worlds, citing, hey, last time I was there, 06, I want to change that historical view of my career.
Yeah, and off camera, he was talking mad smack about TSM. Don't trust the on camera. Biofrost is a totally different person, I swear. In the locker room, you can't get him started.
I ran into the kitchen this morning, and they ran out of coffee sleeves for the cup, and he's like, I just don't want to burn my hands. Like before, and he was always standing there.
So
like,
what did you do? He spiked it at someone?
No, I tried to find him a coffee sleeve. We opened every drawer, every cupboard. I think eventually one of the stage managers got him sorted out. So hopefully
Mark has an
he's all set up on stage there.
No, it's just
Mark is trying to push this Biofrost is mean agenda.
I love it. I love it. All right, TSM, Dignitas. Let's start in on the TSM side of things. Shenyi coming out big yesterday in his debut here in the LCS. That first blood that, Raz, you were the one who took a look at in waiting room today and how EG recovered, but just alone, the aggressiveness, Emily, on engaged supports like Rel from Shenyi.
And this is exactly what I expect from him, having watched him on FPX and FPX Blaze. Him on engaged supports, he's always going to look for that play. So once EG do make that mistake of going in, he's just like, you know what? I see an angle here. I know we can kill this person. And especially like LPL so highly values engaged supports and supports making these decisions. It was nice to see that on day one.
And tactical values it too. His time with Core JJ, hard with him going in constant 2v2. So I expect them to be the ones starting the fights bot lane.
I think you couple now an aggressive engaged support player like Shenyi with a player like Spica, and it makes for a very interesting jungle support duo.
Yeah, I really want to see how they combo together from there. Spica is the reigning MVP. He is a huge force in the league, and making sure that you are enabling him or working well around Spica because you know he has a good mind for the game is a huge part for TSM's success.
And I think that was reflected yesterday in how they played, right? Like they did end up playing around Spica, playing around where he was placing vision. I thought Spica, like very quietly, was leading the team.
Yeah, and I mean, that game was always going to be tough. I think he did the best he could on that little yordle under the circumstances. And what I liked is how he tried to play around mid. Something we'll be seeing quite consistently is that he's going to be trying to play around Keaiduo. Keaiduo had some great moments throughout that game. And so, like, if we can see him maybe not just stuck on a Viktor, immobile as he is.
Well, I enjoyed watching his Viktor, though.
I was going to say, the thing about Keaiduo that was hyped up a lot, even from Spica himself, is that like he's mechanically really good. I think if you watch these plays, you can see it. Here, he moves to the exact edge of the Gwen range so that he can still deal damage without needing to be in auto range. Then when he repositions, he actually sidesteps the snip to win that 1v1. I think there's a lot of really small things that if you're watching Keaiduo closely, you'll see that he is an incredible player. It's just about the rest of what comes with the pro game, like the things that you can't just learn in solo queue and grinding up experience that way.
Exactly, and something we'll see is just more consistently from him is just great farming throughout, right? In losing situations, when we were seeing him in the LDL, a lot of that was that, okay, your team is behind, wasn't your fault. You're still in the game, though. You're still farming, like, perfectly, and so now in the next team fight, it's going to be on you to carry those fights. So even though I look at the Viktor and I'm like, I want to see more of your champion cool, because I've seen him on Silas. I've seen him on more mobile picks. He's a fun player on those more aggressive types.
Keaiduo, Shenyi, two of the most exciting players to join the LCS, and what a debut for them, even in a loss yesterday for that game for TSM. But with many new exciting faces this year, their franchise player, Spica, is actually looking forward to going toe-to-toe with Dignitas QNTMPAY's jungler River. Let's listen in.
I only play against River a bit in scrims, but I wasn't really impressed. But he actually did very, very well in lock-in, so I assume he had like issues gelling with the team. So I'm actually excited to play him again since it's been, you know, a few weeks since we scrimmed Dig. He performed very well in PCS, so I'm excited to see how he does.
Hello. And welcome to where I'm going to talk about River. So we can roll the clip as I talk. We've already talked a lot about River's pathing and how he recognized in this game specifically that because the Ezreal Karma is going to push against the Caitlyn Lux that he needed to target this lane. But what I wanted to show as this clip rolls is how the rest of Dignitas, especially their bot lane, end up coordinating with River. So he's actually able to get vision on this, and it's going to set up for a kill. So here he's going to go in, he's going to harass Xerxes. Xerxes not going to like it. He's been harassed here in his jungle before. And then also the other big thing is that LeBlanc is able to get the push on the mid wave, which is additionally important because we're also going to be paying attention to her right here, where she is going to end up having complete mid control, and then they end up using that a little later where she wraps around. They know he's here. That bot lane has already been set up through the River's pathing earlier, and then they get first blood off of it. I really wanted to point out, not only is River, because I know some people have picked him apart for being like maybe inefficient, but not only is River paying a lot of attention to where he needs to be with his lanes, however, his team is also working really well around him.
Yeah, the team is the part that I think deserves more credit that's been given to them so far. Bio and Neo have been incredible in the bot lane. Blue is obviously much better than he was given credit for heading in. And that draft is like the ideal draft where you also have Fakegod on a weak side tank top laner, which is incredible for him. His Gragas is really good.
Yeah, people like to focus on River, and it seems like his team's doing the same, right?
Yeah.
Moving towards him, and they're finding advantages. Sure, it was against IMT. Let's see if they can do it here today.
Well, spotlight on the jungle matchup and how the teams around them play. But with that, we're back over to Phreak and Kobe for the call.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to see this one again because the idea, right? We heard Biofrost talk about it. You know, speaks in the team, hates the team, wants to beat him up. The actual goal is to prove that they are a good team. To me, I already believe they are a top half team. To me, Dignitas are my number 4, number 5 team in the LCS right now. I believe they are a very, very strong team up against TSM. I personally favor them, and the whole squad looks great.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic, Biofrost brought up because we have so many players that have been in the league for so long, bouncing around teams, and they start to disassociate, some of the new players with the old organization, and it really brings up what really does tie you to either the brand, or the team, or is it actually the players that you're mainly following here? The new dig here, though, I'm definitely following River. That is my player that I'm following for this side. Looking at him in all of these jungle situations, he plays it so aggressively, always looking for where he can pressure, where he can gank to get his laners ahead. He's not one of those selfish, super farm-heavy junglers.
Yep, all about the team, and it's working pretty well. Dignitas are a pretty solid team right now. Twisted Fate off the table. Karma Caitlyn off the table. Not allowed to play something incredibly aggressive. Neo had Caitlyn in the previous game yesterday. So has to go for something a little bit different here in this one, but he's got a champion pool, obviously. He's got 5 Aphelios games so far on the year, so very likely he goes for that one at the end of the day. Jace going to be off the table, and I'm curious if early attacking split push top laners lends Dignitas slightly toward looking at a Janna. It's a bit of an early call, but I am very focused on it as a possible strategy. Dignitas or another team where I feel like they are well poised as a lineup to play that style, since Fate got us off on weak side. Anyway, just let him roam. Get him out of the lane entirely,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. When you've got, especially you're looking at who are the players on your team that you're trying to, quote unquote, funnel for that. Neo and River both would be good choices there. The Zeri does make it through, though, not banned out this time around. I really do think this champion is so powerful right now. I'm very curious to see which build Tactical goes for, because when we had Danny play it for Evil Geniuses, he went for the crit build, more damage. Lower win rate for solo queue, but for professional play, you utilize the extra damage really, really well. So I do like the Essence Reaver route. Now on Dignitas side, whenever you see Zeri, though, you have to think about how are you going to kill this champion? Where's our point and click CC? Because it is so difficult, since she has very long range and super high speed, to deal with her later on. And so far, they have no point and click. The Thresh is a good pick here for Biofrost. I think one of his best champions. But they do need something to ensure, either slow her down or lock her up so that he can follow with a death sentence or something.
Alrighty, Yuumi maybe to lock in alongside the Zeri. Keep in mind, Yuumi tends to have a fairly weak laning phase, doesn't have a lot of peel, just like a little bit of poke, but alongside a Zeri, she can often get away from these plays, right? On reflex, dash with her E, get away from the Thresh and chill and just scale out there. And that means, honestly, you're looking for, okay, who's Yuumi gonna hop on later on? Probably not a Poppy jungle, probably not when you're, really trying to buff into a big hyper carry, but that's fine. Poppy can just, stymie everything else, right? Block the Gwen mid dash, block the Thresh in the back half of the queue, block a Lantern. Still a solid pick against what Dignitas has.
Yeah, and you also, Zeri is also a good Yuumi carrier herself, since Zeri can reposition so effectively. Fun fact for the Aphelios. This week in both the LEC and LCS, Aphelios is undefeated, 7 wins, 5 in LEC, and Neo looking to put another win up here for the Aphelios combination with Thresh. No surprise there. Trying to have that extra repositioning for later.
Yeah, so his 6th Aphelios games. It's Fakegod's 2nd time on the Gwen this year around, and he's of course going to give TSM counterpick. Now obviously can cover that with some bans. You always can flex at jungle. We saw C9 do that, for example.
Now, they still don't have their point and click for Zeri. So TSM can try and ban for matchups here, or they can also try and ban for comps to deny possible solo laners from blue that would have that point and click CG, because that is a good place left for Dig to get it.
Calling the shot.
Jungle is a decent one as well.
Because keep in mind, right, Gwen has been locked in, and TSM is like, yeah, you locked in Gwen, that's nice for an active ban. Right? Like, they're actually calling that River is going to be jungle Gwen. I mean, you can, of course, mid Renekton, sure. Hasn't been played by blue so far this year by any means, but, again, Gwen is a completely viable jungler, and you can just, toss out some top lane CC bans.
It would be a very different look for Dignitas to have River not on Jarvan, not on one of those early game playmakers. Yeah. But they're not worried about that Jarvan because they early pick the Poppy. So you don't have to ban the Jarvan or really target River that way if you're early picking the Poppy anyway, which is so good into it with the W blocking so many of the engages. So they ban the Xin instead, and they say it's fine if we did top lane Gwen, then you can pick the Jarvan, or they split the difference here, banning one top, one jungle, no matter what position it goes into.
Alrighty, bans are 3. You mentioned the Xin Zhao. Tryndamere off the table, Akali as well. Generally speaking, hard melee champions are the best answers into Gwen. They ignore the Shroud anyway, just some bonus armor MR, and they can try to outstat her in the 1v1. A full dodge like Jax, for example, which we saw from the LPL recently, can work as well because she needs to auto to stack her Q or to stack her ultimate back up. So Viktor going to be locked in for the mid lane. TSM get to answer that one.
I'm still not seeing how Dig are going to kill the Zeri. Gwen is pretty good into it because the Zeri doesn't have an easy time of killing the Gwen because of the W, but Zeri is so fast that it's hard for Viktor to actually unload, and Zeri can stay at Q range, so we'll see with the last pick bringing together jungle or top lane for Dignitas, if that is the key to it. Because right now, TSM look like they have a very good split map. Graves is so good for wave control early on. You can shove those waves. Really easy wave control for the Ryze as well in this matchup versus Viktor. It is very easy early on to get openings for roams from mid for Keaiduo. Now, this is one of the things people brought up for him as a player too as he's coming over. A lot of people talking about how he's lane focused. Yes, mechanics are really good. Can play a lot of good scaling champions and carry some team fights, as we saw on Viktor even in the losing game from them previously. But now it's going to be the look where roaming is very important for the Ryze versus Viktor matchup. Make those realm warps count to the other sides of the map, and we get our answer. They still go with the Jarvan, even in the face of Poppy.
Yeah, they call the shots. They are. You know what? Screw it. At the end of the day, it is the 5th game for River's Jarvan. This is the kind of style he wants. Obviously, yes, he's a very common jungler. He's very much in the meta, but a lot of players do branch out, right? And it's like, no, this is what I want to go for. So very CC heavy, right? You've got good setup from the Jarvan. Thresh has pretty solid follow-up. Big damage from Dignitas. Gwen, Viktor, and Aphelios all look great as damage threats in the late game. Keaiduo's Ryze gonna look pretty good as well. Played the Viktor last time around. I believe it was in a Jojo Peon's Ryze, and Jojo won that lane. He got the first roams. He got more done. He got a CS lead. I want to see if this now works for Keaiduo. If he can say, well, I'm on the other side of the matchup, I'm gonna do the same thing here up against blue.
Yeah, the Ryze is always looking to try and get these roam timers, and you have really big payouts if you can get those timers effectively coordinated. Yes, Zeri Yuumi by themselves on bottom lane. We'll see how this lane actually goes into the Thresh possibilities and how good Biofrost is with the Flays. if he can get some of these flash plays set up for Dig. But if that is allowed some early money, there's definitely some good spread map play in the future of TSM. Having those solo laners have the ability to split push, and then having the mobility of Zeri and Yuumi traversing the map could get scary. I have had full faith in this Dignitas lineup, though. This year, they have looked so good since River came over. And the question remains, will be able to create the same sort of early advantages that he has in the past, facing Spica on the early pick on Poppy, with Spica showing very effectively as well the interrupt.
Yep. The tactical going lethal tempo makes me believe it's actually going to go more toward the auto-attack crit build. In my mind, fleet footwork is the tell that you're going Trinity Force, and lethal is the tell that you're going to go for everything else. Tactical can check brushes with Q. It would stack lethal tempo, so you have a brush check for sure. Q costs no mana, cooldown's 1 second basically. And so you know if someone's hiding in that spot or not. Says, okay, no one's here, cool. Aggressive ward comes down for River to give his team some control over the bottom lane. In general, usually ranged supports want to sit in that brush. AD carries don't spend a lot of time down there. Shenyi not going to spend a ton of time since he is Yuumi. Can auto sum, of course, but a flash flay can kill you. So has to respect that from kind of level 2 onwards. Flash flay and a hook is often just lethal damage. Once again, checks brush. Tactical's like, cool, they're not cheesing us in tri-brush. Passive fully stacked, of course, as is known. And so nothing spicy down here. Both junglers look like they're going to start topside. Early trinket comes down, and Dignitas knows with, I think, 100% certainty, they can just walk into that brush safely.
Yeah, you always have to be very cognizant of your trinket ward timers when playing against Dig, against River, because he so frequently does skip camps in order to get early influence on lanes like this. Dig do avoid the Q checking in the opening here and are going to force him all the way up towards River. Good harassment from Neo, utilizing his extra range with Green Gun and then healing back up with Red.
Press the attack. Biofrost did not quite go in for, I don't know if it was a hook or a flay if he's holding the skill point right now, but he could have maybe tried to cheat the rest of the way up and look for tactical. Doesn't go for it. Doesn't really matter. First wave shoved in. Neo dropping only 1 CS. And now we'll see if TSM can get anything back into this one. Nice sidestep. Gets around the prowling projectile. No gold earned yet for Shenyi.
And meanwhile, if you're looking at River and continuing to track him, he is going for the level 3 just red quadrant clear on the Jarvan. It's already warded on ramp if he was going to make a pass towards mid lane. So the 2 early kind of spots that he could go have been warded out, but he's being efficient and just purely farming closest camp, full red quadrant for him, transitioning down to the bottom side, after which this TSM vision will expire.
Yeah, kind of an anecdote. One thing I've seen a lot from Jarvan's actually is that more than every other champion, I've seen them actually full clear their first side, whether it's blue or red side. And the red side obviously a little bit slower, but it kind of allows them to be near mid for a lot longer before they're kind of pathing down all the way down towards bot lane. So if there's something spicy early on, they're kind of always ready to go for some kind of a, EQ forward and kind of participate. Fakegod battling back with Huni right now. Temporary CS lead, +1, as he only dropped a single CS in the first 3 waves.
Yeah, going quite well for him. Scuttle Crab spawn should be normal. Again, when Poppy meets up with Jarvan early game, has a lot of zoning potential. So Spica doing the power clear towards bottom side should be the more efficient one, should be able to get the early route into River. The problem is Neo and Biofrost pushing up on this bottom lane have control. So it gets a little bit dicey there, and Spica goes for the early recall to reset up to the top side, giving up bottom side Scuttle Crab to River. He'll have the bottom side Scuttle Crab vision, no problem, and look to trade for the top one.
A little bit of poke towards Biofrost, but it is still the bot lane with pressure hook. Nice attempt, but as is correct, you kite toward your minions. You juke towards the minions. They could never hit you through them, so dodge the hook that way, no problem. Nice attempt, but not going to land for Biofrost as the first recalls come through. Small gold lead, Dignitas up 200. And right now it is Keaiduo with a small farm lead in mid, but nothing massive just yet.
And the mid vision, again, is something we're going to keep tabs on. The Ryze, so important here for Keaiduo. See if they can keep mid vision and allow him to push out these waves to find these timings, to work with Spica on some of these invades. Spica gets the early ward there down onto Raptors for the second spawn of Raptors. This is one of the most contested points on the map for junglers when you have a mid matchup that you want to influence. Being able to do your Raptors and possibly stealing your opponent Raptors is one of the biggest ones. It's so efficient when you're trying to play around a matchup like this where Ryze does want some presence to be able to influence the rest of the map as well. So he sees the second spawn, he will see River, no problem.
Huni forced to teleport back to his lane as Fakegod was holding a freeze in front of his tower. Huni just gets the purchase off, gets his Vamp, gets his long sword, and moves back into the lane. Top lane's still pretty close between these two. Jarvan killing his camp on the ward. So information gained, but nothing to steal.
Yep, and he does suss it out, has the sweeper, but that's all that you need because you know he's transitioning down to the bottom side, so Keaiduo takes advantage of it.
He's got the move speed, he's got River to half HP now as well. Pickaxe in inventory, no tank stats, walks away.
Such good coordination. It's just a little bit of communication goes a long way for TSM. They escape the support roam, they get a good harassment onto the jungler, and can zone Fakegod off of a couple minions while they're doing it.
Looks like denied gold from 2 or 3 of them. XP, I believe, earned for every single one. Anything lost in mid? Looks like not much. I actually like the ulti from Blue. Like, if you're going to go for a full dive, you will lose an entire wave ASAP. But Spica's there in time to grab the wave, and 0 XP, 0 gold lost as they make that roam. Deny a bit of money, nothing lost on the other side. Well played by TSM.
And it's one of the things that you have to think about when you are picking Yuumi, and you're giving up the kind of difference in support roams. You have to work around these timers. You get Biofrost, gets his roam time off towards mid, very well evaded by TSM with the communication and just kind of swinging up to the top side of the map. Easy resource reset for them. As you say, they don't lose anything on it, but now Bio is in the brush.
Hook lands, they're chaining the CC, finally W comes up, flashes the safe, the Ignite will kill, first blood twice in a row. That is beautiful. Biofrost on the board.
Biofrost taking down Spica. TSM former support player taking out the current jungler. The team was rebuilt around Spica. He's waiting in the brush ahead of time on a control ward as Spica goes for another one of the shallow wards in the jungle here, trying to regain the information on River. Nice punish from Biofrost, from Dignitas. They have also reset to that side of the map.
Yeah, really nicely done. Top laners farming back and forth. Fakegod keeping up with Huni. Nothing special going on between these two right now. They're just kind of earning gold. Spica will get top scuttle for the second time in a row. And so some nice bits of money earned. Dignitas holding on to the exact gold lead they would get from a first blood. So laning's been really equal. You can see, 2 CS differences. Plus 14 for Keaiduo in mid. So he is starting to really crush the matchup. Doing the exact same thing that Joji did to him in this lane. And so, yeah, it turns out Ryze just got to collapse this one.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the big thing is going to be how he can influence here to the side lanes. I mean, with 1 kill going over onto jungler is not the biggest issue because it went into the hands of Biofrost, the support, on bottom side of the map. And Bio currently, again, getting pushed in by this Zeri Yuumi matchup, utilizing that really annoying poke that you have multiple levels now in Prowling Projectile, and Yuumi constantly spamming with the Q. So another Zeri game in the hands of another Zoomer here for Tactical, and pretty smooth opening.
Not sure if it's Triforce or Essence Reaver first. Same build path so far, but we'll keep checking in out which way she's going for. Crit build scale better, Triforce with a better power spike. And now we're looking at Rift Herald.
This is the rewards for your pushing bottom lanes. So there's coordination here from TSM in pulling out the advantage that your Zeri Yuumi has, moving the Neo and Biofrost lane all the way back towards their tower. They're going to give up a decent amount of minions at the turret, though, and River even coming to zone them off. So it does cost Tactical a decent amount here as Neo gets all the way up to the turret, does get one of the plates off by hand, has the white gun, so they get paid a little bit for the half roam up from TSM that just ensured TSM would be able to secure that Rift Herald.
Will they get the dragon as the cross map? They get the red buff steal as it's going to be autoed down. River gonna, I believe he's actually letting it still recharge, but his big smite is up, and can they dragon? Of course, bot lane was shoved in, and looks like indeed this is going to be their prize. So we have to recap what was earned. Well, on the one side, TSM roamed up, they got Rift Herald. That's going to be high value. However, on the other side, a full wave, a turret plate, and a dragon. Does Dignitas get more out of this play? It depends on how good the Herald charge is. If all Herald does is give you 2 plates, Dignitas got more. If Herald charges into a winning lane and finishes the tower, then TSM gets more, but you need the winning lane for that play to be worth it.
Still not able to get anything out of these possible Ryze roams, but those are the windows he's looking for. Nice little ward, kind of shallow there in the pit behind the Rift Herald. Does see him kind of hover up. Fakegod as well, even with no movement summoner spell. Ghost is pretty common on Gwen as well, even with the Ignite. Still remaining quite safe up here and farming quite well versus the Graves. Biofrost with the hover because they did get a little bit of information on the possible play here, and they don't have any follow-up deep vision, so hovering around to try and protect.
But you're not going to kill the control ward now. They have a chance at a 2v1. Ryze spotted back in lane. Fake land for Biofrost. Oh, no, he does have actually Ryze. I just shouldn't zero him on the mini-map. In case there was a play, but he gets to get rid of the vision and say, no, no, no. You don't get to play for top side. Now the vision is going to block Dignitas for a while, and Fakegod going to remain safe over there, even though Keaiduo's there with a Yuumi. About in ult range, but it's not going to matter.
All right. This one going pretty slow with the farming because they haven't been able to, actually force one of these plays on side. Only the slight punish on the overinvestment from TSM. So Dignitas pretty happy with the course. Like they have so much scaling in all three lanes, going quite nicely for themselves, and they haven't given up even that much territory. Because you can also judge the progress of TSM by how deep their ward lines are. And Dig have done a pretty good job of defending the shallow vision inside their jungle. River clearing at the Raptors, wards around there, bottom side as well, instantly cleared out by Dignitas. They're playing a good opening defense.
We got Herald summoned into the mid lane. This is going to look pretty solid now as the wave is mostly cleared, but as it's gone, it's going to be plates number 2 and 3. And nothing else to show just yet. So, hey, you got 420 gold off of Rift Herald, counting the first kill itself. Dignitas, I think, got more out of the trade. A 600 gold lead plus a dragon to the yellow and black. Now we'll see if there's a bot side play right now. Is going to be Triforce Zeri. Tactical's going to have a really good power spike in about 3 minutes time. Good hook comes in once again, trying to combo on down. Do they have the damage on a Spica? A flash to safety, but Ignite will kill him yet again. Tactical cannot find the kill either. TSM 2-0 in the same kill.
Ooh, another one for Dignitas, and this time the kill credit goes on to the Aphelios Phreak. They're getting paid in their carries. This really well thought out jungle plus support movement. We didn't mention it because it was on screen. River and Biofrost waiting on their control ward in the top side of River, waiting for the possible play. If it comes by, great. We can jump on it. We get an advantage. If not, no problem. They just clear out the ward through the river and then head on down. Then you see the follow-up here. Biofrost goes for it. He says, Spica, I see you, my friend. Hooks him with the death sentence. Glacial Augment down slow as well. And both junglers have flash. They both flash out, but as you said, able to get it there. Oh, even had the last auto in the air there from Purple Gun. Saw the auto going through from Neo, and he gets the kill credit. So perfect situation for Dignitas. And you gotta say, Biofrost has not lost a step.
Yeah, he wasn't competing last year, right? He wasn't in the LCS. We didn't see a shred of him. And he's back on, and he is a core part of the reason Dignitas are a really good team in the LCS.
Yeah, it's one of the things discussed on a lot of the podcasts pre, any sort of data for any analyst to look at. Wondering around a lot of the players, coming out of retirement, like Bjergsen, Biofrost as well, some questions about the, solo queue experience that other players have had with him. How good is he? How good is he really going to be in competitive on stage? And so far, the answer is looking great.
Yeah, Bios had the good map reads, right? Like we saw the attempted top lane dive, right? The 10-minute roam or whatever, and Bios, like, as you mentioned, right? You actually brought up specifically, chilling in top Tribrush, ready to go. He's there for the cover. Gonna try there with the Zeri, but guess what? Neo safely enough. Burns the Gale Force. It is a rather long cooldown, but not picked off.
Yeah, and one of the big parts about Zeri, why she's so annoying for solo queue, is there are a lot of opportunities for AD carry ganks. Here's a Realm Warp, though. First one of the game.
That's going to work. That's going to be a kill. Who's going to claim the credit? Fakegod going to walk into the tower. Keaiduo gets the kill. TSM on the board. Well played. Finding the 3v1 kill top side, but Dignitas are here to cross map. Turret plates have fallen. Turrets are going to be really squishy there. Krugs to be taken. Red buff to be attempted. Nice try on the hook, but it is going to be grabbed up by Tactical. Still, though, bot turret should be dying rapidly. The same side. Huni's got some free time top lane to make the same thing happen.
Yeah, I like the evasive maneuvers here from TSM. the immediate call when you are making a top side play, they communicate tactical Shenyi, get out of there now. Try and get as many of our resources off the bottom half of the map as possible while we are not there. So tactical immediately beeline over to red. So they at least deny the red steal that would be the aftermath of Dignitas trying to punish the overload of champions on top side for TSM. And they still do trade turrets, but the extra play there, Keaiduo finally getting paid, finally gets his side lane play off, roam warp up to the top side. It's going to cost them yet another dragon because they're focusing on the top side for TSM, but this is only still number 2, and you really start to sweat around number 3 here. For the soul point. Neil's been whacking away to here.
Yeah, really good damage out of that one. Obviously, melee range is good when you've got the white gun because it gives you the chuck run sooner and you deal more damage. FLICKR spent some time doing Skarner tech. I would like to take some time to do Zeri tech, by the way. So the way her passive auto charge up works, if you go full charge, you get percent health damage, does a bunch more damage. Against champions, you wait for that one. But the percent health damage doesn't work against towers. So, the difference in value between just chain autoing versus waiting for the full charge is smaller. Also, when it's at 30%, you do bonus damage. That works against tower. So when you finishing a tower, just auto at 10% battery every time, it's way more DPS than waiting for the full charge. If it's a high health tower, it's generally speaking better to wait for the full charge than auto the tower every like 7th Q.
I actually really like that. The small extra DPS gain on purely structures.
Yeah.
To be able to maximize there for Zeri. Great. Now people can play Zeri even better.
You're
so
welcome.
she gets looked at closer, and I will be happy.
Zeri is a similar amount of overpowered as Skarner was a year or so ago. So Zeri enjoyers are no worse humans than Skarner enjoyers. They're both OP.
Very, very true. All right, let's take a look here. Dignitas are overloading on bottom side to try and defend. And it looks like after Gromp secured, you're looking at where can you make your next play, though? Because TSM, we kept on talking up how well this squad can do when the map is split. You've got Graves, Ryze, plus the Zeri with so much mobility looking around. Once you get your number 1 goal of taking down your outer turrets, that's where this comp will really get to shine. And we'll see, can they actually push TSM across the map, increase their gold lead so that they can then deny that 3rd dragon that is kind of approaching the pivotal point.
Ooh, flash flay, but Tactical able to leap just in time. Nicely done. Safety for the Zeri. Play near walls and you can escape, 1200 range dash. TSM, though, back with the gold lead off the bot turret falling. All 3 outers have been slain. Really well done over the last 3 minutes to get those turrets down and earn a bunch of gold.
Yeah, definitely a calm opening, but now the real game begins. Mid-game, where we get to play without the safety of those outer towers for Dignitas. Gave them a lot of props for how well they played the defensive opening. But it gets so much more difficult now because TSM, it's easy for them to move up their ward line that we kept highlighting to try and track their success. So far, they have not been able to get their wards up. Really good vision toggle here from the observers, and Huni is going to be the one to pay the price.
Yeah, Huni sniffs it out, puts down a little bit of this one. Nice EQ, aims it far enough. The flash will not get him away. A flight back, and that should be the kill. Can they donate it to Neo? They grab it to Blue. He dives past the tower and says, that's my 300 gold. I set up the wave. Looking for a tower to claim. However, mid lane was under fire. Cleared enough that it may not drop, but Tactical is going to try his hardest to get some turret damage here.
Yeah, Leisha's Raptors a little bit, doesn't really get anything out of that. A little bit of turret damage will get chipped off mid. The substantial amount is towards the bottom side.
Once again, playing by the walls. Tactical safe enough that he does not get one shot by Gwen through Ignite when Yuumi is around and is able to dash farther away than any top laner can go. Playing top lane bars, then I guess they can follow you. But bot tier 2 actually fell. Well done to TSM on the split push. Keaiduo earns a ton of gold. Willingness to stay over there and get something done is very valuable. That is 800 gold earned to TSM from that tower.
And he's got his Fimble Winter conversion very, very close here. Already at 333 charges. So only 27 left to go. Approaching the super tanky, annoying Ryze kind of dreamland here. Champion scales off mana, so it got really popular. LPL, LCK, the tankier build. Now, you get a kind of a branch in decision making after you get to the core 2 items, though. Never mind.
Big damage. Thankfully has Merc Treads for 25 more MR. Next, he's going to do some decent damage. Flash forward! Almost sidesteps into it. Barely living Huni with a sliver of health. Nice try. Blue does not quite finalize the kill.
Yeah, don't walk across that line. Close one there. Line in the sand. Huni is going to be able to survive this time around, but these sorts of mobility summoners are going to be really big, as this is going to be the point that we approach with Dragon. 25 seconds. No flash on Blue. So Viktor will be very vulnerable, and you've got a lot of playmaking ability here as far as TSM on the setup. So they'll definitely have their eyes on Blue, teleporting right back out here.
So here we go. Dragon set up in 10 seconds. Dignitas want their third. Flashless Blue. Huni back on the map. And until the ulti comes back up, Dignitas are going to be worse at team fighting. So I actually kind of want to delay 30 more seconds, but I'm not sure they're going to get the chance to. A brush camp. They go onto Poppy, but the reinforcements are here. Knocks up one in the back line. There's a dunk towards the back. A stopwatch for River. Is it going to be enough? A great lantern to safety. Fakegod here as well. All 5 available. The ultis are running out fast from the Dignitas side. Blue has the ulti back up in 1 second. Has a decent amount of power here. 1.5 items. Will it happen? Tap to go for some pokes. Blue drink it down. 3k health on the Baron. Is it going to happen for Dig? River waiting in the wings. No stopwatch goes in. Claimed by Spica. 1 dragon on the board for TSM. Rest of the team fight might begin here. Fakegod on the front line. Has to be careful though, as he disengages back through his W. Blue gets some poke, and that's going to be it. Mid lane tower can be attacked, and that's all Dignitas get.
Yeah, TSM trying to reset through the bottom side of the map. Graves heading over, but the payments will be had. Dig gonna get their last outer turret down, so now evening up a little bit here. 2-1 on Dragons, but gold quite even.
Still a very close game between these two teams. Dignitas looking pretty solid across the year. TSM, the goal they said kind of from the beginning was, hey, this is a building year, right? We're grabbing players out of, LDL, out of Functionally Academy. We're going to grow up into it, and a decent look here in the second game.
Yeah, as far as that growth, you can even look at the last Dragon fight. They had good setup by the River. Oh, never mind, we've got face check.
A ton of damage, and Biofrost will fall as TSM were invading the jungle and getting a big play. Now Neo's going to be careful. This is a one-shot. Tactical finds another champion to play in melee range on and gets deleted.
Viktor loves popping 80 carries, Phreak.
Yep.
Just fully unload on Tactical. Gives one right back after TSM had finally gotten an answer onto Biofrost. Taking down him after the early positioning towards Fog of War. In the end, though, since your AD carry is down, now Dignitas will get to push out these side waves, which has become so important now when you're facing Keaiduo, who wants to split push on this Ryze. 3-item power spike. This is the bridge we were talking about. The Frozen Heart now added on top of it. So very, very good possibilities for the split push there for TSM. He also had a really good snare on Fakegod to start out that Dragon fight, gaining them a lot of...
Here we go, trying to play around it as well. The ult's gonna cross with a decent lifesteal. Burning him lower, big Q, no sidesteps. Keaiduo doesn't dodge a single skill shot, and Fakegod takes the 1v1.
Yeah, chops him down to size, also chops me down to size, just as we're trying to praise him.
Yeah.
For the snare, for the positioning. Goes right into the Gwen. Fakegod opens up this play for Dig.
Yep.
Baron under attack.
Turns out Frozen Hearts don't defend against mages very well, and now Fakegod going for a bit more. Ulti is down, has to kite away, barely stays alive. 1 on the board for Graves. Well done to Huni. Spica on the way back, Tactical the same, has to run away from Blue's combo.
Wrong side of the map, though. Can they actually pincer? Biofrost a little bit too low health to try and pull it back around, and since Blue doesn't have ultimate anymore, no extra huge threat for that kill. So, patience on the side of Dignitas.
There's no jungler. They're going to try this one. TSM, it's on Vision. This is known, but is it going to work anyway? Neo going to get some decent poke. There's good damage actually onto Yuumi. Keep in mind, once the first shot hits, the rest are going to be targeted, and it's off the Baron.
It's very dangerous because Viktor lasers harassing you inside Baron pit can do so much. Blue doesn't have to even expose himself there, and the flash is also coming off cooldown very shortly, so definitely don't want to mess around with that one. Quick little check from TSM. And they gut check there. Yes, this is definitely a horrible start on Baron. So just the reset after the little skirmish.
We are on Triforce plus Hurricane now for Tactical. I no longer do the Hurricane Bolt Chain Lightning, so the Absurd Synergy is gone. Still a solid second option. Extra kiting, extra move speed definitely doesn't hurt. I want to see usually Black Cleaver or Titanic Hydra as the third option. You fully stack Cleaver off of a single Q because they're individual triggers of physical damage, which just like amplifies your poppy damage, amplifies your Graves damage, is useful overall, plus has move speed on it. Titanic just gives you such good team fight coverage, you just AoE everybody.
All right, let's see if they can actually play the map here. TSM send 3 up to top side, and clearing out the vision means Fakegod knows he just has to play a little bit safe, and the rest of Dignitas can regain control of the bottom side of the map. That's around Dragon. 1 minute on that clock. This is generally the timer you want to try and reset for your control wards to move your vision resources over to the Dragon. This would be number 3 soul point for Dignitas if TSM decide to commit to a split push and try and trade instead. That's a viable choice. You can go to 3 and wait for the soul fight in 5 more minutes, but it is the more risky one.
Play it out. Mid lane cleared first by TSM. The next wave is going to crash basically as the Dragon spawns. We've got, a flash forced out because of Fakegod. Keaiduo going to try to alive as he can. Keaiduo is going to just barely get out. Waits out the Cataclysm the whole time through. River going to try to heal up now off the Raptors.
Yeah, that is a tanky Ryze, okay? This is the tank build. Continually replenishing the shield off of Fimble Winter. Dragon now is the target. After that, pretty heavy resources. So many ults on the side of Dig. Only Biofrost still has his for this team fight. Looks like TSM should be able to slip in and trying to finish it off before River even gets close enough to attempt to steal.
But is there a team fight afterwards? Looks like they want to. The turret comes down, and Ryze brings the entire team to safety. Well played, Keaiduo. The Dragon is claimed 2-2 here. TSM get out cleanly. The gold remains within 700.
All right, so the attempt of the pass on the pick on tank Ryze actually hurts Dig a decent amount, giving up the possible Dragon number 3 there. With no longer having, I say Viktor ultimate and Gwen ultimate were really the 2 biggest ones there because there's so much damage in those ultimates for their team fight, so much threat behind them. They didn't really want to, actually take that chance in getting down to Dragon earlier for TSM after this is blown. So well done there by Keaiduo. He is tanking also, flashing out, not risking anybody getting picked off. They get the objective for it.
We get to keep playing and waiting around. Yuumi definitely a very well-scaling pick. The more ranks she can get into all of her abilities, she really wants ranks in E for the better healing. Ranks in the W gives her teammates a ton of extra attack damage or ability power, which can turn Ryze into an absolutely absurd menace. So, time is just fine for TSM to wait, at least through that axis.
And we're going to put it to the test as well. How her late game does when you don't have point and click on the opponent team. Dignitas have a lot of damage. So they have a lot of damage, a lot of zone control as well, but not actually the lockdown. So if Tactical plays it well with Cleanse, with Flash, there's a possibility for a big skill difference to show up here. And these are the sorts of plays that people have always been looking for with Tactical. When he was with Team Liquid, Core JJ would always talk about how good his hands are, to use your phrase.
Yeah.
And how his mechanics have actually earned them a lot of plays. This is the type of champion, and this is the type of team that you're playing against where you really can showcase that.
Move on towards third items right now, as it is going to be the Warhammer, which is a build path for Black Cleaver for Tactical. I think there's one other option, but it's unlikely to be like a Death Stance, that seems. A rare choice. Spica go ahead and walks up to the wall, puts a ward down with Shenyi, and it's going to be cleared right back out. So they are fighting for vision around here. Huni doing his best to get some harass, and it works out okay. Keaiduo showing up as well. River going to have to EQ away. And now knows, there's not much you can do. You could aggro Baron, but why even bother? So back they go. 3 minutes to go to the third Dragon for either team shows up, as we are definitely at a holding pattern for a while in this mid-game. Baron's still a possibility, and Dignitas, they are kind of sneaking through, like, theoretically. And Tactical's like, hey, what's up? Anything going on here? Has pretty good face check. You can W the edge of Baron Pit. It will reveal along the side, so you can kind of check from almost anywhere.
Yeah.
You always run back, eat a safety if you have to. No Gale Force here, so you still have to run all the way there, but, reasonably safe, gets the check. No real worries.
Yeah, just try and stay close to walls at all times here. Spica makes another pass as well for TSM, as they just have Keaiduo on the rise, now level 16, trying to catch the wave that Fakegod is pushing up. Fakegod on recall. Let's see how much he can actually purchase here, because it's a little bit behind in the builds. There we go. He gets actually the healing reduction. for the Yuumi here. So is going to have some source for Dignitas to try and cut down on Yuumi healing. This can lead to some of those really frustrating moments. You know, if you don't have that and the Zeri gets away for a second, the heal gets off again from Yuumi. So they're trying to guard against that.
Riverside stepping a lot of it. Spica gonna go for attack. Not quite the stun just yet. Knows the EQ can be stopped by Poppy W. But he'll get away, no problem anyway. The Lantern. So not gonna be a huge issue anymore. Okay, word's gonna go down, and once again, these teams fight over Baron control. Top scuttle belongs to TSM. It's gonna make it even harder for Dignitas to do much around there. And Dragon's up in just over 1 minute. No scuttle will be there when that happens. Biofrost trying again for the wards. These teams just constantly fighting back and forth on the left-hand side of the map. And until that Dragon comes up, all you can do is play around this river.
Yeah, they've actually allocated all 5 members for Dig towards mid. So this, again, should be both side lanes push out here for TSM. They do just that, kind of cautiously, only halfway up for both of these lanes. So they're really respecting that possible pick. When you have River roaming around with Biofrost, the playmaking of those two, and Gwen actually being able to answer one of the side lanes very effectively, giving Dignitas a lot of control and setup for this Dragon. Now you've been denied of vision. 25 seconds left on it.
Ooh, big damage, and that is gonna be a deletion. Goodbye, tank Ryze. Not tanky enough. Well-timed. Dragon's coming up, and TSM don't have a mid.
Yeah, better prep from Dig. TSM, they soft shove on the side lanes and recall with only 30 seconds left, so they don't have time. Dignitas are saying, hey, great, we'll take the Fog of War advantage. Set up here in the brush, and now the question of how does TSM actually draw them across the map, and the answer is they don't.
Yeah, it's like, well, you can try the 4v5, but, you know, blue has teleport, so they can show up in time, and you're not rushing that down quickly enough. So third Dragon goes to Dignitas. TSM gets some minion waves.
Yeah, and the main thing is that death timer, because, yeah, Keaiduo has teleport, but 25 seconds left on that death timer, you wouldn't really be able to answer. So the only payment is a Dragon.
TSM waiting, though, with their entire squad. If Dignitas come with too few, this could be a good fight. Biofrost got to be careful. They don't have Ryze. They don't yet have Aphelios, or Viktor, I should say, and now Keaiduo has Summoner TP. He's going to show up for the whole 5v5 team fight. Neo is blinded, has to flash to safety. Be careful, he's rooted in place, staying alive. Dunk comes in, but a flash back to safety. Ryze is going to be all right. Slow's going to land on a Fakegod ulti, nearly kills off Neo. Huni almost deletes the backline.
That was a 4v5 as well. Blue is in base. They don't even make the call, hey, we need the teleport. They're able to use just the flash and the lantern to escape from it. We'll see if this is punished, because it is going to be no flash on the Aphelios, but thus far, you had pretty good positioning and timings on these lanterns. But this time around, since it had to be used on Fakegod for the lantern, Neo blows his own flash, and that's going to be the big cooldown TSM want to punish. Meanwhile, the safety of your split pusher in Keaiduo, the Ryze, once again, he flashes his Jarvan ultimate. It does reduce some of the possibilities of setup here. His teleport down, his flash down. It does seem like it's going to stall out more for TSM now.
And here we go. Just wards going off the Baron. Dignitas know they can play a slow game if they want to. In 3.5 minutes, they can play for Infernal Soul, and if they think their team fight is better, they can let that one happen, take the eventuality, and suddenly get that big power spike and up their winning odds. Ardent Sensor now done for Shenyi, still stacking up the Enchanter buffs. Biofrost footing towards defense, and a good stop there. River not going to get in. Tactical can always jump away from Cataclysm. E then W through, and it's going to look good in a team fight. So actually a small soft counter into the Jarvan. Has good gameplay there.
Certainly does. Graves walks around bottom side. Would want to try and hard shove quickly here, but since mid control has been taken over by Dig, they can easily send Fakegod once again. Level 17 now on this Gwen to answer, since he has teleport ready to start up the Baron, hit it once again, draw TSM over.
TP up for both. Blue Trinket burned, and it's going to go back into the Fog of War now that the information's been denied. Quick face check, and that's a good crawling projectile to see someone is indeed in that brush. Wouldn't know who, but they walk away and get it anyway. Control down, hook's gonna land. Is that the play? Yes, the dunk into the backline, into the tackle, but it's gonna be River who's going to fall. Zeri finds the first kill, into the backline is Huni, deletes one, trades his life back out, but the AD carry is dead. It's just up to Blue now. Decent damage coming across. Fakegod in the backline, a jump over the wall, tactical still cut down to size. Fakegod now shoved into the wall, and he's gonna be shoved into the locker. Gonna beat him up, take his lunch money, and down he goes. Dignitas lose 3. Only 2 kills for their side. TSM rule the map.
And now the heroics are up to Blue. The Viktor with flash. Harass them with the laser. Poke them off. It is Yuumi healing So it's really hard to actually make that damage stick.
The Ryze only does so much damage. Obviously, infinite mana, sure, but does the blue poke do enough here? Has to be careful, popping nearly in range. Holds the lantern for a while, doesn't take it. Flay backwards, they're gonna stay alive. That is a disengage onto Baron. They get out, they stop the play. TSM win the fight, but get nothing more than one extra kill.
Exactly, it's just gonna be a full reset, Phreak, and we're gonna fight the Vision Wars. The great Vision Wars of the 34-minute TSM dig game will reign once again. This is gonna be, when we get back to live, the respawn for Dragon coming up soon too. So once again, Jarvan wall used against him. River ults in with the Cataclysm, so it's a quick early kill. And then the trade there in the back line with Huni going 1-for-1 with Aphelios. If it wasn't for Fakegod actually chasing down Tactical, completely different scenario here, but it's yet another 1v1 or 1-4-1. And since you've got such long range on Viktor Laser, that harassment means the extra kill doesn't actually move the game state.
The Tactical most damage in that team fight. I want to point out, if he aimed that E a little bit better, he gets farther along that wall, and he doesn't get caught by the Gwen at the end, right? He took kind of a short route through, so there is a world where Tactical lives. It's 4v2, and that's Baron. A very, very small play right there, you know, two degrees off to the right, and suddenly that is Baron as TSM with a huge lead in this game. We're going to see now the attempt towards this Dragon. You have to believe 30 seconds till Infernal Soul for Dignitas, but they have to be able to get onto the map to do so. They are hemmed in toward their base. Mid being sieged up. Tactical, the red buff, is going to be really threatening.
Yeah, and any early poke here onto Fakegod actually helps a lot too. W cooldown burned as well, so TSM get the tower, and they can retreat back to the objective. Thankfully for Dignitas, since they got so many of the early dragons, this is only going to be a soul point for TSM, and it wouldn't be giving up too much, so they would happily trade Baron for it.
They're gonna check. Hook lands on a Poppy. All he's gonna do is zone for now, though. TV coming across. They're gonna try to take this fight because Huni is on the Dragon. This is 5v4. It's 5v4. Fakegod just gets, no, he gets one. He gets Zeri. He gets out for now and landed to safety. That is Baron claimed. That is huge. Dignitas Barons in 2022 are coming up 100%.
Dignitas are here to stay, Phreak. Baron acquired, Dragon Soul in the crosshairs.
And now, what are you gonna do? You've got no jungler, you've got a Ryze, you're gonna hope, and TSM's hopes will instead fall. Baron on the board, Dragon Soul on the board, Dignitas looking good here in game 2.
And this is them knowing their win cons here. It's so easy from the Dragon lead position to say, hey, we're gonna make that trade any day of the week. You saw no hesitation. That's what I've loved with this iteration of the Dignitas squad. They're very happy to just immediately go start up that Baron. Fine. You want to go for a Dragon? You want to stop our soul? Let's see if anything comes of this brush play in the bottom side, because they're behind Fakegod, but
he's going to bait it out, goes in for the play right away. Now he is going to be 1v4 for now, but blocks most of Huni's damage. Reinforcements have arrived, and guess what? Huni might want to get away because here's Neo. He's going to find just the one. True to his name. Spica gonna get deleted as well. Thank you, Infernal Soul, for the second bit of damage. Blue's on the hunt, and Zeri is one hit away from dead. Just barely kites it out. 2 HP left on that champion. Mid lane now under fire. 5v3 to push this one home. It's at least the inhibitor, but Dignitas want the entire base.
Yeah, and TSM gonna have a hard time stopping them from getting what they want.
Nice hook's gonna land. That should be a kill. Goodbye to Ryze, and the rest of the kills will soon follow. River to safety, will not burn down. Thank you, Triumph. The white flag comes out. The Bud Light Ace and Dignitas have a perfect weekend to open the 2022 season.
I know people are gonna clown on TSM for that last late game objective trade, but their thought process is, we've got a teleport unleashed on Huni. He can solo drag if Dignitas hesitate. The problem for them, no hesitation on Dignitas. Was the cooldown actually down on the teleport cooldown too?
I think it was, like when I looked over, I saw a cooldown on TP. Unless I really missaw that, I could have sworn TP was down. And that was, I think, a track then by Dignitas. That's true.
If the cooldown on that teleport for Huni was actually down there too, then that reasoning also gets way more shaky.
Sure, yeah.
to the point of bad call.
Fair enough.
But really, the critical part for Dignitas, no hesitation, and they're very willing to call that bluff and just burn down the Baron. Really like to see that confidence in this team.
Well, sad for TSM. It is a loss start for the squad. That said, they played EG, They played Dignitas, which again is a team I think is actually a very, very strong team here in the LCS. I still have high hopes for Dig. They're still playing really well. But based on playing a close game against Dig, that means TSM feel like a 6th-ish place team to me. It's early, but hey, we've had 2 games this roster. I'm placing them around 6, 7 based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it is early, but this is accelerated spring. Because we had the lock-in tournament taking like so much time. Spring now.
7
it's
weeks.
time, baby. Yeah,
7 weeks.
Even though it's early, it's going to be over before you know it.
Yep, and that's 1 week down already. So that is 14% time-wise of the regular season. Sadly for TSM, it is a bunch of losses, but they've got a bunch more opponents ahead of them. I'm not saying they're counted out. You shouldn't cut them out either. They clearly have some good pieces, but I'm just happy that Dignitas looks so good.
They also have the loudest cheer of the teams that I've been up here casting in their post-game wins. So they're definitely playing into the party bus meme. You know, they are definitely loving the way the team is going. And I like the interviews with them afterwards too. You know, them just all having this proactive mindset. So, you know, really like the coordination we're seeing already.
And it was cool to see Fakegod step up as well. I didn't see what happened exactly. I thought he was caught, but we had that last Baron fight and he just deletes Zeri. And I'm like,
Sonya's, baby.
I didn't see, yeah, sure, but just like, well, they got chains down to 1/3 HP and then Zeri was dead and then the team was ready to go. And I was like, okay, well, you got me. Like, well done there. Obviously, really good damage out of him. So cool to see him on a damage threat and perform it well.
Yeah, I actually really hope that they have the replay of the end trade there too for the desk to look at, because that's where the critical timings of teleport timer and everything come in.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a really big initial play, but trying to work around that scenario.
Yep. All right. Well, a great game for Dignitas. They remain undefeated in 2022 and the regular season. So now we're going to join their mid laner Blue on stage with LeTigress for our Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Phreak. The energy that you felt here on the stage after the Dignitas victory yesterday feels like it never left after the 2-0 of this weekend. I am joined by mid laner Blue. First of all, what has it been like following that momentum that you all garnered during lock-in and then bringing it into the start of the spring season?
We realized how we want to play the game, how with River, and how communication should be with him, because there's a language barrier with the jungle, and it's also a really important role. So we realized fast how we should play with him and talk to make it easy for him. And then we just try to keep how we want to play, our play style, and we also try to adapt towards it, and that's how we keep doing it.
Considering those difficulties with communication that you just mentioned, it's interesting looking at the latter portions of this game where it feels like it's on a knife's edge. You have to trust in the decisions made by the team. Is there anyone that you are leaning on most to make those calls? And how do you all feel like you are contributing so full-heartedly into these choices made?
Most of the time, it's the English person that, for example, this game was mainly River and Vincent talking with Aaron also, saying how they want to fight and stuff. So, and the carries were just saying if we're fine to fight or the position is okay and stuff. But props to them, they always choose a good fight and good engages, so they made us win the game. So that's how we usually work.
Yeah, you're choosing the good fight, you're choosing the good game. You have a lot of good energy here with Dignitas. I was just looking at the sign that has been hovering around. Yeah, I hope that the audience can hear some of that. The interesting thing, Dignitas, just last year, I'm sure that everyone has maybe kind of carried that over. Right? Last year, they were very known for sitting in the stands, waiting for the game to be finished. What has that been like for you on this squad where that is such an important thing for everyone on Dignitas, bringing that love to every single player?
I mean, it's actually really nice to be in Dignitas. I'm really happy because everyone is always positive, such a nice vibes. Our environment is so nice, we're having fun. Even if we play bad or someone does bad, we don't really care, we're having fun. We try to always improve. We go out and stuff, even in scrims, we just have fun, good vibes. Managers, staff's also great, coaching staff too. So yeah, that's what.
How important do you think that is to player performance when it comes to not thinking as much about what everyone might be saying in the internet sphere and keeping it focused on you and the team, though the internet has been pretty hype on Dignitas as of late?
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I think it's really important, obviously, to be positive and have a nice environment. I think for me, it's the main important reason for a team that, the first reason for a team that should have is to be positive, always have fun, and just play the game, and try our best. So that's how we are. Everyone is like this, and it's going well. So I'm happy too.
happy vibes all around. I commend the arm muscles of anyone that's been holding up the sign during the entirety of these games. It never leaves. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so
Blue.
much.
What a day of LCS. What a weekend of LCS. We are going to kick it to a break, but on the other side, our analyst desk will get you geared up for our next matchup. See you there.
Ooh, big damage, and that is going to be a deletion. Goodbye, take Ryze. Not tanky enough. Or down hook's going to land. Is that the play? Yes, the dunk into the backline. Into the tackle, but it's going to be River who's going to fall. Zeri finds the first kill. Into the backline is Huni. Deletes one, trades his life back out, but the AD carry is dead. It's just up to Blue now. Decent damage coming across. Fakegod in the backline. A jump over the wall. Tactical still cut down to size. Fakegod now shoved into the wall. And he's going to be shoved into the locker. Going to beat him up, take his lunch money, and down he goes. Huni is on the dragon. This is 5v4. It's 5v4. Fakegod just gets, no, he gets one. He gets Zeri. He gets out for now and landed to safety. That is Baron claim. That is huge. Dignitas Barons in 2022.
Initializing legendary moments.
Take a look while you can, because if you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm sure you've heard the news.
Gold, gold, and more gold.
Here comes the big play.
Oh, that's
Perfect timing. You can see this one coming.
They get what they need. They got the mids. They got the support. They got the top.
Are they going to give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Welcome to the LCS.
FTX, official cryptocurrency exchange partner of the LCS.
Sequence complete.
What's going on?
Jake from State Farm, the perp just confessed. I think. I don't know.
What?
Oh, can't afford streaming anymore, so here we are.
Oh, don't give up what you love. State Farm has options to personalize your policy so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Oh, that's great. The subtitles would be nice.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.